I actually have an order right now and I wanted to check the order status for it.
I found your order as in. It's pending as of May for the file organizers. Anything else I can help you with?
What you just heard there was the exact voice AI agent real e-commerce stores use to automate 90% of their customer support. And today, I'll build the whole thing in 30 minutes, so stick around till the end. On top of that, I'll run a live demonstration of the system to really show you the power of AI in customer support in 2025. Let's dive right in. That's typical here at Inspire AI. We help e-commerce brands comfortably scale their businesses without the bottlenecks of customer support. If you are interested in never having to worry about customer support for your business again, you can book a free strategy call with the link in the description. I'll see you there. Let's first quickly examine why even we're building this customer support system. Support feels necessary, and don't get me wrong, it is. But it's draining many e-commerce founders in silence. Most aren't growing their business, they're just wasting their time and potential. We're no longer in 2015, and there's really no need for employees to be answering support calls. Refunds, order updates, return requests, all day, every day. It's not just annoying for you and your employees, it's quite expensive. Here's the truth. In 2025, you have two choices: $3,000 to $4,000 per rep or an AI agent that automates 90% of the work for just a fraction of the cost. Here's the ROI and savings after a year of this system's usage. As we can see in this graph, where the dark pink line represents the cost of a human agent and the light pink line represents the cost of a voice AI, you can really just see the crazy difference between the two methods of customer support. Voice AI may have a one-time upfront cost of around $2,800, but it is the clear winner when matched up with a human agent because it costs only $600 per month to maintain. And keep in mind, this graph shows only the first 6 months of implementation. Annual savings for voice AI agents can reach up to $33,800. This means that voice AI agents have a return on investment of up to 606%. The break-even month is month 2.4, meaning that only 2.5 months after you get the voice AI agent, you have already broken even and made more than you had spent in the first place. And this voice AI system runs on three main, simple, no-code tools. We have Vappy, where we will configure the voice AI agent, NAN, where we will allow it to fulfill tasks and certain automations, and Airtable, which will function as our Shopify dashboard, helping us return, search for, and cancel orders. So the first step in actually creating our voice AI agent is to give it proper instruction. This includes telling it what capabilities it has, what tone it should be speaking in, and other details. You don't have to know too much about prompting to figure this out, especially since I've created a free AI to help you write them. You can access this AI in the link in the description, alongside the prompt that I will be producing right now. You simply feed it some instructions, and it will create the optimized voice prompt for your agent. And instead of writing, I also like to use a speech-to-text tool known as Whisper. It can help me write 4 times faster without typing. Create me a highly organized, immensely effective, and precision-optimized prompt for an inbound e-commerce voice AI. The voice AI agent has the ability to fulfill several types of tasks for which it can also generate tickets for. Its capabilities include the ability to check order status, return/cancel, and answer FAQs, which it will answer based on a knowledge base provided. It will also be able to generate tailored product recommendations based on the user's query. Overall, it's pretty friendly, has a kind and warm attitude, and its responses are concise and optimized for clarity. As you can see here, I was able to translate my voice into text, and now let's just simply give the instructions to the AI so it can write them for us. We got a nice response from the AI. Now that we have the prompt, we can move on to the next step. This prompt will also be provided in the resources link I drop in the link in the description so you can access. So now that we have the prompt configured, let's go ahead to Vappy and configure our voice AI agent. What you're going to do is you're going to head over to Vappy.ai. You're going to open your dashboard or sign up if you don't have an account already. Once you're signed into Vappy, you're going to go to the assistant section and you're going to create a new assistant. We can start with the blank template. Once you have the new assistant, you are simply going to copy paste the prompt that we created into the system prompt section. After you've done that, we're going to make some basic changes to the voice AI agent. For the first message, we can say something like, "Hello, this is Eco from Office Ease. That will be our brand name for now. Company that sells office supplies. For now, you don't have to touch any other section. Now, let's head over to the Tools tab. Think of tools as abilities that allow your voice AI agents to perform certain tasks, like checking the order status or sending a text message. For now, we are going to configure the 5 tools we have in our prompt. You're going to go to the Tools section, hit Create Tool, and hit Function. This will allow us to create a new tool. So the first tool's name is Check Order Status. For the description, you're just going to write one sentence about what this tool does. In tools, there are also certain things called parameters. These parameters will allow you to set certain data that the voice AI agent will actually collect while running this tool. So you're going to hit Add Property, and for checking the order status in e-commerce, stores will usually require information such as the email or phone number to check the order status. So what you're going to do is you're going to name the parameter email. For the description, you can simply write the email address of the caller. You're going to hit required because it's required for checking the order status. And now we are going to repeat this quick process for 4 of the other tools. I'm not going to do the other 4 tools here, but I will provide the information for setting up the 5 tools in the resource link in the description. Also, one more type of tool that we'll be creating is a query tool. This will allow us to upload a database of knowledge about our e-commerce store and allow the voice AI agent to answer things like FAQs about our products and more. The setup is very similar to a regular tool. The description will simply say, use this tool to fetch relevant information from your knowledge base to answer caller FAQs. What we are going to do next is attach some knowledge bases to our voice AI agent. These will include information about our e-commerce store and allow the agent to answer any questions we might have with the information in those files. Once again, I will provide the files in the resource link in the description so you can simply download and upload them. To add a file, you will simply go to the Files section. So after you download the file that I've provided, go ahead to the Files section, choose File, and upload 2 files. Both of these files will have information about our pricing and products alongside business information. This can include things like the website of the business, the phone number, the email address, and much more. After you've done that, you simply add the knowledge bases. Now what you will do is you will copy the file ID of the first knowledge base. You'll go back to the Tools section, you'll click Add a Knowledge Base. You're going to call this Business Information. So this knowledge base will be used when a caller has a question about Office Ease's business information like the contact information and other details. What you're going to do next is you're going to go back to the Files section, copy the second file ID, go back to the Tools section, create a second knowledge base, upload the file ID, call this Product and Pricing. This knowledge base will be used when a caller has a question about a specific product, its price, and other details. After you have this tool and the other tools mentioned in the resource link configured, you're all set for this section. Next, if you've created your tools properly, you can go ahead to the Tools section, select Tools, and click the tools that you have just made. Once you have your tools set up, you're ready to move on to the next stage. Now, to get started, simply sign in if you already have an account, or click Get Started. NAN has a 14-day free trial, I believe, so that will be perfect for our build. Once you're in, you'll click Create Workflow in the top right corner. From here, we will start building our backend. So the first step to building our backend is to add a webhook. A webhook is a specific module that captures information from one platform and sends it to the other. You're going to click Add First Step, click on Webhook Call, and what you're going to have is a test URL and a production URL. We will keep the test URL for now. Copy the URL. Now we can go back inside of Vappy to add this webhook. Once you're back inside of Vappy in your assistant, which I have renamed to 30-minute build myself, we will copy paste that webhook URL into a few places. You will go to the messaging category and copy paste the URL we just got from NAN. There's no need to configure anything else. From here you can scroll down to client messages and only enable transcript and tool call. Then you're going to go ahead to the server messages and you're going to select end of call report, tool calls, and the final transcript. This is also where we can create an end of call message. So in this case, it could be thank you for calling Office Ease, have a good day. Also, for the messaging section where we copy pasted the webhook, don't forget to add a timeout in seconds. You can place it at around 30. From here, hit publish to save all of your changes. Next, we will go back to our tools and add the webhooks there. You can navigate back to the tools section. For each tool, except the Office Ease search, which is integrated directly into Vappy, you will add the webhook URL. For example, I'll go to my check order status tool. and I'll copy paste the server URL into the server settings server URL section. For the rest of the tools, you are going to do the same thing. For my cancel order ticket tool, for example, I'll be doing the exact same thing. I'll add the server URL, I'll set the timeout to be 30 seconds, and I'll simply save it. You can use the document I created for you in the resource link in the description to go through all of the steps. Now we can head back to NAN and really start building the backend. The first thing you're going to do is simply hit this respond button and click using respond to webhook node. And also what we actually need to do is change the HTTP method from get to post. From here, we will give a test call to the agent so we can activate the webhook. Click test workflow. Now, in order to be able to actually call the agent, we need to assign it to a specific phone number. You can do this by going to the phone number section and creating a phone number. Here you will type in your area code and hit create. This will allow you to get up to 10 free numbers free of charge if you're in the US. If you're outside of the US, you can purchase a Twilio number and then import it from Twilio. Since I already have a phone number, I'm just going to use this one that is unlabeled. I'm going to attach it to my 30-minute build assistant, and that is it. One more thing we are going to do inside of Vappy before really going to build out the backend. Scroll down the left side, click account settings, go to my profile, go to organization settings, click organization settings, scroll down, server URL, and what we're going to do here is we're going to change the server URL. So hover around with your mouse, eventually it will let you edit it, take out everything, and attach the new server URL. From here, just click anywhere and then click save. Once Vappy has given you the green light, everything in Vappy is set and done. Now we can transition to building the backend. So the first thing we are going to do after we've attached the webhook module in NAN is just add a respond to webhook node. We need this because we've previously selected that we will respond using the respond to webhook node. From here we can click save and we can give the agent a test call so that the webhook is activated and we can further build with the data that we have. So let's click test workflow and I'm going to give it a call right now.
This is Echo from Office East.
Hi there.
Hi, how can I help with your order today?
I would like to return my order.
I can help with that. Could you please provide the order number or the email used for the purchase?
So that will be enough for now, and if everything works out, you should see it work in just a sec. From here, we can simply disconnect these two nodes, and we're going to start building the rest of it. The first thing that we are going to do after our webhook has been activated is add some variables to help the agent out. You are going to add a set node, also known as the edit fields node. You're going to add a field. You're going to give the current time to the agent. And after formatting it in the way we want, you can see here that it gives a very nice result with the time. Knowing this time will allow it to do many things. For example, calculate refund eligibility and much more. We're going to call this variable current time. From here, we are going to add routing. For example, when the agent wants to send an end of call report, which is essentially the summary of how the call went, or making tool calls like returning the order or checking the order status. So we're going to add the switch module. And first, we're going to execute previous nodes so that we have access to them. So now we can scroll down. So now the left-hand side gives us a summary of the variables that we have and that we can use to perform routing and other tasks. Under the webhook variables, we're going to go down, scroll down to the type. This is the message type. This is exactly what we need. We're going to drag this in, and if message type is equal to end of call report, we're going to go one way. However, if the message type is equal to tool calls, we'll go the other way. The next thing we can start doing is building out these pathways one by one. First, I'm going to disconnect this because obviously the end of call report will not go to the webhook, which is the response. The end of call report will go to an Airtable. This Airtable will function as our Shopify, but with more capabilities such as the ability to record calls and log down potential customers. The end of call report is going to create a record because we need a record for every call. Now, the first step in setting up the Airtable is signing up for Airtable. You're going to go ahead to the website. I've already signed up for Airtable and have an account. What you're going to do is simply create an account, answer some of the questions, and you're going to end up on the same screen as me. From here, you're going to click create in the bottom left corner. We will start from scratch with this Airtable, and we will add it to a workspace. Once you've created a new Airtable base and named it what you want, so for example, I've named mine 30-minute build and put today's date on it, you're going to set up a section. I, for example, called this section end of call report because this is where our end of call report will go. The end of call report will include things such as the name, the phone number of the person, whether the call was successful or not, the summary, the transcript, the recording URL if you would like it, and the ended reason. For setting up this field, what you will simply do is right-click, click Edit Field. For each field, you have to assign a type, so just find the most appropriate type. For example, summary, it will be a pretty lengthy summary, like 2 or 3 sentences, so it would be a long text. For the recording URL, it would actually be a link, so I would have to change that into a link. Yep, so I would change it into a URL. From here, you're all ready to go. I will create an Airtable. I will actually create a copy of this whole Airtable and put it into the resource link, so you can easily copy and paste it into your own workspace. The next thing we are going to do is create. This will allow NAN and Airtable to communicate. You can do this by clicking your profile, clicking on the Builder Hub at the bottom, opening it. Once you're in this section, you're going to go to the left-hand side and click on Personal Access Tokens. Next, you're going to hit Create New Token. Name this token whatever you want. Once again, I'm going to name it 30-minute build. For the scope section, you're going to click Add a Scope, and we're going to add 4 abilities. We're going to add Data Records Read, Data Records Write, Schema Bases Read, and Schema Bases Write. For the access section, you will assign bases that you can access with this tool. So we're going to add a base, and this is going to be the base we just created, the 30-minute build base. We're going to create a token. We're going to copy it. We're going to click Done. Make sure to save this token because you won't be able to view it later. And from here, we're going to create a new credential. Name this credential something. And what we are going to do here is we're going to give access to NAN. We're going to copy paste the token we just got from Airtable. We're going to click Save, and it was set up. From here, you're going to choose the base that we had, which is 30-minute build. And then from the table, you're going to choose End of Call Report. Many fields are going to pop up, and you may recognize them. Those are the exact fields we just had in Airtable. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to map each variable from the NAN input to Airtable. For the name section, we're going to leave this blank for now because we don't have a name yet. For the name section, we don't have that yet because I never mentioned my name to the agent. However, we do have the rest of the details. The customer number is the exact same number we used for the dynamic variables routing. So you can scroll down from here and get customer number. You're going to paste that into here. For the success, you're going to type in success into here to search for it. Yep, success evaluation, false, because the call did not work out. I ended it early. Perfect. Now you're going to type in summary. As we can see, the summary is here, so we can just paste it in. You're going to do similar things with a transcript, recording URL, and ended reason. So I'm just going to type in transcript, scroll down, and select transcript. Once you have set up the variables, congrats! You have finished the first pathway for the agent. Now, let's move on to creating the second pathway, which is the tool calls pathway. For the tool calls, we are going to need another switch module because we have several tools and we need to identify which tool is being used and when. Remember to hit save after you make big changes in order to not lose any progress. In order to filter out the tools, we are going to need to give the agent another test call so that it can identify which tools are being used and when, so that it can give us some information about the tools that we can map. So once again, we're going to hit test workflow and give the agent another call.
Hello, this is Ed from Offices.
Hi there.
How can I help you today?
Yeah, so I was wondering if I could check the status of my order.
Your email address or order number so I can look it up for you.
Yeah, so my email address is azim@gmail.com.
This will just take a sec. It seems like I couldn't locate an order under that email. Could you double check the email or share the order number instead?
So we just faced an error here, and the reason was because our respond to webhook node was not attached, as NAN says over here. So there are 2 ways we can approach this. We can attach the webhook node back to the flow, or we could temporarily disable respond on webhook inside the initial webhook. I think this would be easier. We can click immediately and leave it as that for now. Let's try giving the agent another test call.
Hello, this is Echo from Offices.
Hi there.
Hi. How can I assist you today?
I was wondering if I could check the status of my order.
Sure thing. Can you please provide your email address or order number?
Yes, my email address is azim@gmail.com.
This will just take a sec. It looks like I couldn't find your order under the email address provided.
So as you can see here, this time NAN went through the tool calls pathway because I want to check my order status, and therefore the agent called the check order status tool. So now that we have this, we can set up the switch node. So here I had the tool routing set up. Essentially, whenever a tool gets called, it is displayed here in the left-hand side, inside the input. What we're doing is mapping the tool that is called here to here. So if the tool that is here matches one that is here, then it will go down that path. Then it will go down one of those 4 pathways. So if the expression is equal to check order status, we will be going down the check order status pathway. Since the same expression is not equal to recommend products, then we will not be going down the recommend products pathway. From here, click save, and we can start building out the 4 pathways of the tools. This is the most important part of this Force AI agent. But for running these tools, we would actually need a list of people because we need to do things like search orders and much more. For that, I'll create a sample list filled with orders, people, their contact information, and more. We are going to include this in the same Airtable base that we just created. Once again, it will be available in the resource link to fully copy and use it for yourself. So here I have created an order database. It's filled with some sample people, including myself. It includes the phone number, the address, and other things that the agent could use when we are calling. We also have a section for the returned orders, where the returned orders will go, as well as a canceled orders. The product catalog is also here. It's filled with many products, same products that are included in the knowledge base of the Voice AI. Let's continue building within NAN. The first thing that we will tackle is the check order. To check the order status, the Voice AI agent has to search through the current orders made with the name of the person or details the email or the phone number. This requires a search table module. So the Airtable will search through our records. We're going to go into our credentials, select the credential that I just made. We're going to search through the records. The base is going to be the one that we have assigned. The table will be the one with order logs. You may notice that there's something called a formula. Now, a formula helps us filter through the records and find possible results. In order for NAN to be able to search for the order, it needs 2 details, which are the email and the order number. Now, we are going to give the agent a test call, give it a sample email and order number so that these fields are activated with an NAN. There.
How can I make your day a little easier today?
I would like to check my order status.
Got it. Could you share either your order number or the email address you used when placing the order? I'll check it for you right away.
So my order number is 1003 and my email is azim@gmail.com. So there we go. We just called the agent and these fields should be now activated. Now we can hook up the Airtable search record module to the rest of the pathway. You can click into the Airtable search record module and we are going to use this formula. I will also provide this in the resource link, so don't worry about that. Now the tools in here are incorrect because obviously they have not been activated yet. What we are going to do is search for the tool that we just called, which is check order status, and then apply the parameters from there into NAN. I just found the tool call and the tool call list. The name is check order status. The arguments are the email and the order number. So the first thing is we're going to take the order number and we're going to put it in between these small single quotation marks. The email, we will drag it into here, and that's perfect. Every time that a person calls to check their order status and provides their order number and email, use this information to filter out records that have this order number and email. By the way, what you should be using is the 30-minute build, and the table is the order logs table. So after the Airtable records will be searched for and found, the agent has to give a response. This will be done through a response webhook node. Before setting up the respond to webhook node, we actually need to go back to the webhook node and change the response from immediately to using respond to webhook node. Otherwise, this is basically useless because it will not use it. For the respond to webhook node, you're going to respond with a custom JSON body, so we'll select the JSON option. For the response body will usually take this type of form, where the Voice AI agent receives results, and this includes the actual result that will be spoken to the human caller and the tool call ID so that the agent knows for which tool this is being done. To get the results, click execute previous nodes. However, since we didn't provide it an order number and email that was actually within the database, it will not give us any input data, so we cannot put it into here. This means we have to make another test call to the agent and have it actually return results. Let's do just that. Hi there.
How can I assist you today?
Yes. So I was wondering if I could check the status of my order.
Sure. Could you please provide me with your email address to help us find your order?
Yes, so my order number is 1009 and my email address is azim@email.com.
Give me a moment.
So after calling the agent, I finally figured out what the issue was. While our formula had email written with the lowercase e, Airtable had it written with an uppercase e. We're simply going to adjust email to be with an uppercase e. So once I change that, we are now able to search for the Airtable record. If you're wondering how I'm testing the workflow without making a call, I've pinned the data that had been obtained from the previous call by clicking on the webhook node and pressing P. So this pins the data and allows us to use it several times. So if I test workflow now, it will give me a result. It will be successful. It will output all of the data from the Airtable record that matches our order number and the email. As you can see here, the order number was 1009 and the email was azim@email.com. As you can see here, it does exactly that. It outputs my phone number, my address, the product that I ordered, and much more. So now I can use this in the respond to webhook node. The first thing we have to get, however, is the tool call ID. Now our tool is called check order status. So what I will do is I will type in check order status into the search bar and search for it. Once I have that, I can take the tool call ID and simply drag it over here in between the double quotation marks. Sometimes NAN might put variable incorrectly into the response, but all you need to do is simply copy that same variable, go to the double quotation marks, and paste it back in. So now we have the expression inside, we have the tool call ID over here, so now the agent will know what tool this was for and is able to organize this tool call. Now you can exit this, go back in. Now we will create a response that the agent will give to the human. Now there's more than one way to output a response for the human using the many variables that we have over here. For simplicity purposes, we're going to go and use the following response. So what I've done here is I've included the following variables: the date, the quantity of products, the actual product, and the status of the order. You can see the variables mapped over here and the result over here. So it would say, I found your order for the date 22nd of May for one desktop file organizer. The order status is currently pending, and that is how you set up the voice AI agent to check the order status. The next thing that we're going to set up is the product recommendation. The voice AI will give product recommendations based on the user's input. Then it will match that input to the catalog of products and output the most fitting product for them. For the product recommendation, we could technically use another Airtable search record module and a filter system, but because of the so many different kinds of products you can get, including the colors, the sizes, and other variations, it would be very difficult to do with the filter system. Instead, we can use a separate AI inside of NAN to generate tailored and custom product recommendations based on caller preference. To do this, you would search for an AI agent inside of NAN. To be clear, this is a separate AI agent from our voice AI agent. The two are completely different concepts because this AI agent works inside of NAN. Now what you're going to do with AI agent, for the chat model, we're going to use OpenRouter because it's completely free. For the model type, we are going to use Gemini 2.0-Flash-free. This is one of the best models to use for searching across knowledge bases. For the memory, we can simply use window buffer memory from NAN. For the tools section, this is really important. You're going to search for Airtable, and you're going to select search for the operation. You're going to select the credential that you were connecting with before, which is our 30-minute build. For the base, you're going to select the 30-minute build. For the table, you're going to select the product catalog. Now, instead of filtering by the formula, we're just going to return all of the results so that the AI can look through all of the products and determine which one is the best fit. All that remains for the recommend product pathway is given the OpenRouter chat model instructions and just overall setting it up. Now what you're going to do is you're going to head to openrouter.ai. Next, you're going to sign in or sign up for a new account. This is a pretty straightforward process. Once you're inside of OpenRouter, click on your profile, click on keys, and click create API key. For this, you can just name it what we've been naming everything. There's no need to set a credit limit for now. Click create, copy your new key, and make sure to save it because as always, you won't be able to access it after. Once you're back in NAN, click on your OpenRouter chat model. This space is probably going to be blank for you, so just create a new credential. For the API key, just paste in the API key you just had. Click save, and you're connected. Now you're connected to OpenRouter, and the next thing that we have to do is write the instructions for the AI agent. To do this, click on the AI agent block, select that option, and select Add System Message. So I've written and copy pasted this prompt inside. Once again, also available in the resource link in the description, and it just contains directions on how to output. Now we have this saved, and it's pretty much ready. Final thing would be the webhook response. We can simply duplicate this node, connect it to this, and the only thing is that the tool call ID will be different, as well as the response itself. Now, I'm unable to add the new tool call ID because the agent has never actually called that tool before, since we've never asked for that. So right now I'm going to give another test call so we can activate it and then plot the variables and then put in the tool call variable inside. Before we make a call, we do have to unpin the data from the webhook because new information needs to flow through. Hi there.
Hi. How can I help you today?
Yeah, so I wanted to get a product recommendation.
Got it. Absolutely. What kind of product are you looking for? Anything specific you'd like me to keep in mind? Your budget, features, or purpose?
Yes, I would like a desktop organizer, and I really have no other preferences.
Great. What's your ideal budget for the desktop organizer?
I have no budget, really. So I just tried testing our recommended product pathway, and it did not work out. I realized that there were a few issues with our current setup. First of all, our AI agent node needs to include a prompt that consists of a user message. The user message is essentially a combination of the information we got from the parameters of the tool. What we received from a tool was the input that I had no budget and that I wanted a desktop organizer. Therefore, we were making the user message say that the user would like a desktop organizer and that they have no budget. Next, for the Open Router chat model. Some models do not work with tools, so you need to use specific models that support tool calling. For this, you should choose Gemini 2.0 Flash-001 because it supports tool calling. The last thing that we should really do to improve our product recommendation setup is to go into this Airtable module, and in the description, you should add that this data from Airtable should be carefully analyzed when creating a product recommendation. Otherwise, the AI agent will not realize that it needs to use information from the Airtable, and the user will not receive legitimate product recommendations. For the final step, let's add a webhook response just like we did here. What I will do is I will simply duplicate this response to webhook node and attach it to the AI agent. Going inside of the webhook node, we will have to change the tool call ID because this is a different tool that we are calling. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the current ID and replace it with the one for product recommendation. The result also needs to be changed because we're no longer checking order status but providing product recommendations. For the result, thanks to the AI agent, we can simply take this output variable and drop it in between these quotation marks. If I expand this field using this small button, we can see that I received 3 different product recommendations. And here, you'll also recognize some of the products that are in our product catalog. The powerful thing about this product recommendation setup is that it allows us to create tailored suggestions for every user instead of just outputting one product. Another extremely powerful element you can add to your product recommendation system is storing these product recommendations in a separate Airtable. Then, if you actually have the email and the phone number of that user, you will be able to check through your orders database and figure out whether these individuals actually followed up on the products that they asked you to recommend. If they haven't recommended it, you can create an email outreach or a text message system that will send them these product recommendations. This type of idea is similar to abandoned cart recovery, but I will not be going in depth on that in this video. So the next thing we're going to do is have the agent be able to cancel orders. This will involve searching for the customer's order based on their email and order number, and then canceling it. For now, we will set up a system that mimics order cancellation inside of Airtable, just as it would in Shopify. After the user's order has been canceled, we will send them a text message about the cancellation. After the caller has canceled their order, we will send them an email confirming the cancellation. The first step involves searching for an order based on the email and the order number. We can actually copy the module from the check order status pathway and insert it into the cancel order pathway. You can right-click to duplicate the module and then attach it to the cancel order pathway. So once again, what we will have to do is provide the order number and email in an Airtable filter so that we can then get access to a specific record and cancel the order from there. However, we need access to the email and the order number from this tool. So before we can start mapping, we need to give the agent another phone call. Let's do that right now. What we are going to do now is build out the rest of this order cancellation pathway. First, we are going to add another Airtable module. We're going to click on Airtable and then create a record. From here, you're going to set up the exact credentials that we used before, which is the 30-minute build. And now the only difference will be that you should be using the canceled orders table because we want to transfer the current information from order logs to the canceled orders table. This will help us know which orders have been canceled. You might see that we have no input data yet, and that's okay. First, we will have to test the workflow so that we can then map the data. Once you've tested the workflow, go back into the module. From here, you can paste the exact information that we used before. The only two differences is that we will use today's date and that the status will now be canceled because we are canceling the order. So first, we will take care of the date. This has to be today's date because that is when we're canceling the order. To do this, we will use an expression inside of NaN. So you're going to click expression, you're going to use double curly braces, and you're going to use the variable $.now that pops up here. This gives us the exact current time in minutes and seconds. So we are going to format this date. Type .format, and you will type in YYY-MM-DD inside. It has already applied that for me because I have used it several times. As you can see, the output is the 23rd of May. As mentioned before, the status will be canceled. From here, you're going to map the rest of the variables from the left-hand side. For the record ID, you're going to drag the ID from 2 nodes ago. This is important because if you drag the ID from the last node, then Airtable is going to give out an error because we are not deleting information from the same table. So drag the ID from 2 nodes ago and put it inside of here. Lastly, we're going to add a webhook to this path. I just simply duplicated the same webhook that we used in the check order status pathway. Click to configure. Now we're going to have to set up the tool call ID and the result. Now, I don't want to test the workflow because I don't want to delete the records that we are using for testing. So I'm going to temporarily disconnect the delete record module and attach these two modules. So now, when I go inside the respond to webhook module, I have access to all of the data that we had before. So first off, I'm going to remove the tool call ID and replace it with the corresponding one. I'm going to scroll down here, and when I reach tool calls, I'm going to take this ID. For this, we could say something like, your order for quantity of product for price has been successfully canceled. And now we are done with this pathway. The final thing you have to do is just reattach the module that we removed before back into the flow. Finally, we can move on to the Submit Return tool. The Submit Return tool is practically the same as canceling the order, but with a few small differences. Returns and cancellations are initiated at different stages of a purchase. Returns are initiated after somebody receives the product, while cancellations can occur right after someone has performed the payment or when the order status is pending. For the first part of the setup for the return tool, we can copy-paste the exact pathway we use for canceling orders. There are only a few changes to make. In the create record Airtable, we're going to change the table to returned orders and change the status from canceled to processing return. Also, the response to webhook node will be slightly different in terms of the result. The return order webhook response would say something like, the return for your order of a product has been initiated. You will receive an email with instructions on how to proceed shortly. The last module we will be adding for this pathway is a send email module. For this, we can use the simple Gmail node and send message. I already have it connected with my Gmail account, but it's a pretty straightforward connection process. What we will do is send this email to the email address of the caller. We have this email address because they use it to initiate a return of their order. You'll notice that we once again can't map any data from the left-hand side into here. Now, in order to avoid making test calls and deleting the data that we use to make test calls, we can simply detach the Gmail module from our returns pathway. Then we can detach these two nodes from the cancel order pathway. For now, we could put them to the side. Now we can lift up the Gmail node and connect it to the cancel order pathway. Before connecting it, we would have to test the workflow. And once that has been done, we can connect it to the Gmail node. Now we would be able to map the email address into the to box. For the subject, we can write something like, name, here are your return instructions. I have already created a message, and now I'm simply going to copy paste it into there. You'll be able to see the content of the message when we are performing the final test of the system. After you have everything set up, we can exit this, deattach the Gmail node from the cancel order pathway, add it back to the returns pathway, and connect our two nodes back to the cancel order pathway. You can now click save. One thing we will do is simply change the test URL webhook we have inside of Vappy to a production URL. So simply copy the production URL, and now we're going to paste it everywhere to replace the old test URL. So back in Vappy, quickly head over to your organization settings, click on organization settings, go to server URL, hover over this link. After some time, you should be able to edit it. And now you're simply going to replace it with the new production URL. Save. Now go back to your assistants, go back to advanced, scroll down to messaging, and replace the old link with the new link. Next, go to tools, adjust each tool that you have created. After we're done with changing the webhook URL to a production one, there's no need to hit test workflow every time we need to make a call. Another small adjustment I wanted to make to our existing setup is to allow the agent to better identify when a return or cancellation is needed. Depending on the status of the order, it may require a return or a cancellation. Orders that are being shipped, however, cannot be canceled or returned just yet. So we're quickly going to set up the logic for that. So the first thing you're going to do in NAN on the cancel order pathway is disconnect the last two nodes from the first two nodes. We are doing this because we don't want to delete the data that we will use for the final test. What you are going to do is add a switch module between the first two Airtable modules. And here I have mapped out the logic for each order status. If someone's order has already been delivered, they can only return it. That's why there's a third possible pathway. Now, as mentioned in the start of the video, this blueprint will be available for you to fully download without any hassle. So as you can see, I've done the same logic for the return initiation pathway. If your order is pending, processing, failed, in transit, or is shipped, then you cannot return it, only cancel it, or return it once it arrives. Only for people who the order is delivered for can initiate their return. They will receive an email. From here, we are ready to move on to the final demonstration of our Voice AI agent. And right now, we're going to run our final test and live demonstration of the Voice AI agent in full.
Hello, this is Alex from Office Ease. How can I help you?
Yeah, so I was wondering what kind of products Office Ease sells.
Office Ease offers a wide range of products designed to cater to all your office needs. These include office furniture like chairs and desks, organizational supplies such as binders and filing cabinets, electronic accessories, writing instruments, and more. Is there something specific you're interested in?
Yeah, I'm interested in pens.
We have several pens in stock. Here is the premium ballpoint pen pack. Comes with 12 pens, features smooth flow ink and an ergonomic grip, and is available in black, blue, and red. The price is $14.99. Are you interested in learning more about that one? Or would you like to hear about our other writing supplies?
No thank you. I actually have an order right now and I wanted to check the order status for it.
Got it. Could you please share your email address and the order number so I can look it up for you?
Yes. So my order number is 1009 and my email address is azim@email.com.
One moment. Hold on a sec. I found your order, Azim. It's pending as of May for 2 desktop file organizers. Anything else I can help you with today?
Could I actually cancel that order?
One moment. Your order for 2 desktop file organizers has been successfully canceled. The total is $25.98. Anything else you'd like help with today?
Yeah, so that amount will probably be refunded to my cart, right?
Exactly, Azim. That's correct. The refund will be processed back to the card you used for the original purchase. Refunds typically take 5 business days to show up on your account.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Azim. Glad I could help. Have a great day.
You too. So what you just heard there was the full demonstration of our Voice AI agent. It masterfully handled tasks such as answering my FAQs, speaking in a way that shows a willingness to upsell, helping me check my order status, making me product recommendations, as well as canceling my order, which you just saw on the screen. Now, I'll admit it, this agent is not perfect. It could have definitely done better in some areas, but the fact that this agent is able to handle 90% or more of regular inquiries that e-commerce stores get really shows how powerful of a solution it can be. You just saw it yourself. It answered my FAQ with blazing speed. It politely tried to upsell me. Besides, in the very rare 5% or less of cases that require human support, this Voice AI agent can escalate by transferring these calls to a human. Now you can see, this voice agent is not about the AI hype. It's about return on investment, freedom, and an opportunity to scale without looking back over your shoulder and seeing customer support inquiries pile up. I built this in 60 minutes without rushing myself and giving you an in-depth tutorial. Now it can handle most of what a $3,000 per month human hire used to do for only 40 hours per week instead of 24/7. Voice AI is the future of customer support. And to help accelerate that future, I'm offering a limited time opportunity. I'll be building one custom advanced voice AI agent trained on your store for free. If you have been missing calls, losing out on customers, or being stressed from all of the negative customer feedback that has been going your way, this is for you. The first business owner to sign up for a strategy call with Inspira AI today will receive an opportunity to elevate their customer support for no upfront cost. So, what's stopping you? Either comment that excuse down below in the comments or go straight to the link in the description and book a free call today. Your future, where you can scale, awaits you. That's all I have to say for you today. Thank you for watching this video. It means a lot to me. If you could please subscribe, like this video, or comment what you would like to see next, I would greatly appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.